What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Miguel. You're watching Miguel EDC, the channel where we talk everything EDC gear here. And today I'm doing another quick unboxing here for you guys. What's interesting about this one is it's an Amazon package. It came in the mail like the other day, and I was expecting something else. I did order a few items for around the house, and so I thought it was something else, and I made a cut here. Then I realized, okay, this is something a company actually sent me. So I went ahead and just kept it like this so I could record this video and of course share my true reactions, first impressions with you guys. So in true knife YouTuber fashion here, we're gonna go ahead and make a different cut on the other side. Doing the honors today, we have this interesting looking thing. This is the JIN Chubbee from JIN Knives, and if you haven't already seen the video on this one, you definitely got to check it out. You basically get to build it yourself, and it comes with a companion as well that you build. It has a G10 blade instead. This one is a non-sharp blade. So if you're basically building a knife with your up-and-coming adolescent child or what have you, right, you're basically teaching them the basics about a sharp tool, then this is a great way to build one together. And I believe they're the ones that send out this package over to me. We're about to find out together. Of course, this knife and every other knife that you see in this video will be linked down below. It does help out the channel when you use those links, but that's entirely up to you and at zero extra cost. All right, okay, forward choke on this guy. We don't have a ton of blade here, cutting length, but luckily we don't really need it, right? We don't really need all that much. So I'll go ahead and make my cut here on the other side, because you just gotta make a cut to the package. That's how you prove that your channel is legit, right, on YouTube. Anyways, you guys get the idea here. I'm gonna go ahead and take out the boxes. Right, these look very familiar to me, so I'm like, oh, I know exactly what this is. I think this will be about the third series of building your own knife, which is very, very interesting. We so far have built the JIN Chubbee set right here, right? And if you recall, the very first one that we built was this full-size knife. It is a liner lock flipper deployment from JIN Knives. So the last video actually did very well, right? This video is, I think, like 3,000 views, which for the channel average is actually doing pretty good. And you guys seem to have enjoyed that video very well. After communicating with JIN company here back and forth, they do have some other models that was also mentioned in the comments on that other video. And they were like, do you want to check it out? And I was like, sure thing, why not? Send them my way. And here they are, right? So let's see, we have two models here. We have bone handle Damascus blade, that's a good one, acrylic blue color, and satin blue blade. Okay, so let's do the Damascus blade first, shall we? We'll probably do the build with that one, and then we'll come back and do a speed build on the other one here. So here's what you get in the box. You get a white box inside of the package, and then it is an actual sealed box. Also in here, there is the brand JIN Build Your Own Knife. And again, I told them from the very beginning, I always thought it was a pretty cool idea to, be able to build your own knife. For the most part, most knives that we buy these days, they all come pre-built for us or already built, right? So there's not really a lot that we do aside from maintenance and things like that. But here, it's like adult Legos, right? You get to build your own knife yourself. Warning, this item may be sharp or have sharp edges, right? There you go. Be careful, know what you're doing. But here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We're getting into it, right? We are definitely getting into it here 4 minutes into the video. All right, here we go. So we're building our own knife together. We have a scale, and again, this one is the acrylic bone. What, is that what I read? Oh, no, this is Damascus blade with a bone handle. So, all right, that's gonna be pretty interesting. We have the actual scale here, which feels really good, nice and polished bone feel to it. And here's the liner. This time they are sealed. I want to say they have been sealed in the past, but I think now they're sealed separately. Okay, that's nice. Right, there is a closer look at the handle, right? And by the way, if you're enjoying this 4K definition from my iPhone 13 Pro Max with all this lighting going on here, definitely give a video a thumbs up. Really helps the video with the YouTube algorithm. Right, these liners are nice and milled, right? These, of course, are stainless steel liners. All right, let's take a look. Let's go ahead and take this one out here since we're here anyways. Take all that out. Kind of setting things up here. Here's the blade itself, all right, which is, all right, let's go ahead and take it out. Ooh, now, here's one thing I appreciate. They always send their blades with a sleeve on them. It says, caution, sharp edge. Don't take off the blade protector until assembly is complete. All right, that's pretty good. Now, this is going to be a Warncliffe blade. Yes, sir. All right. I can tell you right now, I'm going to be a huge fan of this one. This is my kind of blade right here. Now we're talking, right? I was excited before, but now I'm just a little bit more excited. Now, what else is there? How do we put this thing together? Well, guess what? They actually send you all the tools and equipment and hardware. Everything is in here, ladies and gentlemen. Even the instructions. They did not spare any details at all or missing anything. They thought this through. So it has been this experience the last 2 times we've built a knife together from the JIN brand, and you know, it's no different this time around. So here's everything that you are getting right there. And of course, we're going to see the instructions in just a moment. We got all kinds of hardware here: pivot, captive pivot, ball bearings, hardware, screws, standoffs, all that good stuff is nice and sealed. I always recommend having somewhat of a magnetic tray. That's typically what I would do. Mine is down in the garage right now, so I don't really feel like going to pick it up, but you get the idea, right? Just keep track of your screws and make sure they don't go flying anywhere. That's always a good start. And then sealed in here is basically the screwdrivers. It looks like we have a lanyard on this one. All right. Typically, if anything, the messiest part, unfortunately, is the oil, right? They do ship oil, right? So attention to detail. They actually, you know, send oil with all of their knives. That way you can lubricate it yourself. It's actually one of the steps that you do when building the knife. But, you know, these don't come sealed. So the oil actually escapes the container there, and it just ends up a little bit all over the place. So yeah, that would be my only piece of feedback for JIN right there as far as packaging goes. Maybe getting a hold of the oil container, you know, maybe sealing it some type of way. If it was sealed and you got to break off the seal, then that would avoid you know, just the oil being spread out all over the place. So what I'm doing here is just giving everything a nice wipe, right? Making sure we get everything out. The last 2 items, okay, I'm glad. So I'm glad they shipped out the lanyard, which looks like a leather lanyard here. It has its own separate plastic bag, so I know oil didn't get to it. And the last thing is a green wiping cloth, very similar to the one that I'm using right here, which is also nice and sealed as well. Just gonna get this oil wiped off, and I'll be right back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so now that we got everything out in the open here, let's go ahead and get started, right? Shall we? This is the satisfying build portion. So hang in there with me. I'm actually going to do it together with you guys. So if you want to just use this video for entertainment purposes, or even, you know, building it along with me, you're more than welcome to. We got a parts list here. Again, I haven't had any issues with any missing parts from them in the past. So we're just going to go ahead and skip right to the, where do we start? Step 1. All right, there we go. All right, so this will be the start. All right, the one side, just giving a quick preview. Boom. Yeah, very, very simple construction, to say the least. So the first thing we'll do is we'll grab our liner side, all right, according to the instructions right there, and we'll grab the corresponding scale for the liner side. You can tell which one it is because it has the sort of liner marked right there. Boom. All right, off to a good start. And then you'll notice that the, you know, body screw here is going to line up right there. All right, so it looks like we're going to be using this screw right here. So this will be a great time to get our hardware out here. Probably should have done that from the beginning. Probably should have done that from the beginning. So here we go. All right, you stay there, little buddy. Don't go nowhere on me, please. Don't go missing. All right, I trust in you. There you go. All right, perfect. So it looks like we're going to be using this little guy. By the way, included in the kit, you get a T6 and a T8 screwdriver, right? And so I'm just going to grab the first body screw, right? This seems to be the one. Actually, the body screw is going to be the one with the round head. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab this guy. It is a T6. All right, here we go. I'm going to hold that with my fingernail there. And then bam, right? Everything lined up. And we are off to building a knife. We are off to building, guys. So here we go. So that one is in already. That's screwed in pretty quick. It's not a very deep threaded screw in any way, shape, or form. We are going to insert our captive pivot. And you know it is a captive pivot because it has a D shape. You'll notice that it's flat on one side. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and insert it from this side here. All right, make sure it goes through the scale and the liner. Bam. And then that also has a nice hole where it lands flush right there, looking really good. Okay, so I do know I have 2 standoffs. Those are going to go back here in these 2 holes. So they're going to go here and here. And so I'm just going to put them to the side for now and move on to the ball bearing situation. Place 1 ceramic ball bearing and washer over the pivot, then apply drops of oil. Okay, so now the real deal is the, okay, my guess is it goes this way, right, with the, because it is a cage bearing there. And then it does have a very interesting, right? They didn't have to necessarily do this, but they did. The addition of a washer in there. So it's like a combination of a washer and a ball bearing, right? I probably should add the oil before putting that washer on top. All right, this is why we read the instructions, ladies and gentlemen. This is why. You may think you know, you may think you got it all figured out until you realize you don't. So there we go. We got it nice and oiled in there. And now we can go ahead and put that washer back in. Bada bing, bada boom. All right, that's pretty much those two steps. Next, we're gonna go ahead and add the blade. All right, so the blade is gonna come in. Basically, we're gonna do the blade and then the reverse action. So we're gonna do the blade here, bam, and we're gonna do a washer, and we're gonna do the ball bearing. Now I wanna go ahead and, so I do wanna mount the ball bearing on the opposite way as I did the first time. I am going to oil this guy out here. Hopefully it's not too messy. There we go, that should be enough. All right, and it's just started raining outside, so hopefully that doesn't come through the video, but we are making progress. All right, we got the washer in there, followed by the ball bearing, got the oil done. Okay, so this is the part where you put in the two, and by the way, I think the blade has to be a little bit slightly closed. That's what I'm seeing. However, I don't like to do that until I have already put the, don't like to do that until I have already put the other scale on the other side, all right, just to be on the safe side. So we're gonna just do the standoffs for now here, boom, and bam, all right. See what I mean? Again, this is, you're watching a professional here. So trust me, if one of these goes missing, I would have a hard time trying to find it. If you want to reduce the possibilities of that happening at all, then, you know, just get a magnetic tray or something like that to keep control of your hardware. All right, very carefully, bam, lining everything up. I'm missing one thing, right? It is the thing that is gonna hold, it is the one thing that's gonna hold my blade from breaking its neck like that. So that thing is called the stop pin, right? Which is gonna be right here. I wonder if I can just light it from this side. Will that work? Yes, it will work. I just need to be able to move the blade out of the way for a brief second. All right, you just saw the stop pin went in. Now I can slightly close the blade. All right, and that is the job of the stop pin, right? It holds the blade, stops the blade when closing, and it stops the blade when open. All right, can't forget that. Otherwise, the blade is gonna do exactly what it did a second ago. It's gonna break its neck. Been there, done that a couple of times. Here we go. So let's tighten this guy in, T6, body screw. All right, boom, boom. And I just realized one thing I may have missed when I did this originally. All right, let's put this guy back in here. Bam, we got the two body screws. Now you come to a point where you realize, wait a second, if I'm putting these two screws from the inside of the liner for the standoffs, that means I probably should have done the same thing on the other side, except I didn't. So I'm gonna come back and put some screws on these two standoffs, right, on the other side of this bone scale right there. So my stop pin went flying, no big deal. I'm gonna put it right back, right back in place. Okay, you get to really learn a lot about a knife by doing this. So it looks like the scale actually goes on top. This is the last piece on my instructions here. There we go. But they even show you the color of screwdriver you're using. So the green is T6, orange there is T8. So I'm gonna place my scale on top, line it up with the pivot, bam, just like that. And here goes my pivot. I'm gonna switch to my orange T8 screwdriver, screw that in. Not gonna tighten it too much for now. I'm gonna go ahead and add this body screw on this side. That one is a T6 green screwdriver. All right, that one tightens up pretty quickly. Now I'm gonna correct my mistake from earlier, and that is to come around to the original side we started at. And I'm going to loosen up this guy. And then luckily enough, all right, I don't get a chance to take off this pivot because it is captive, but I can slightly move the scale off to the side and work on the liner directly. So there are my two spots there for my standoffs. Again, the two other screws remaining there should be these two here. So bada bing, bada boom. I'm gonna go ahead and slide those in there as my printer comes back online, because we probably just lost power and it just came back on. All right, good thing, you know, phone and lights and everything is all battery operated too. There we go. So those are nice and tight, right? The knife is starting to feel very solid now. So I'm gonna go ahead and place that body screw right in there. And by the way, I mean, gotta give them credit. They are hiding a lot of body screws underneath. I'm actually using the wrong screwdriver. Yeah, T6 is the green one, Miguel. There you go. So they're actually hiding a lot of screws underneath these scales, right? The standoff screws are on the liner level. They get covered by the scale, as you saw. So last little tightened up here all around the knife. All right, and my pivot is T8, so this will probably be a good time to tighten it up. How much I tighten it up or I leave it loose, it all depends. So the moment of truth, we should probably make some room here. So I'm gonna cover my oil, move my lanyard to the side, my instructions, my screwdrivers, and here we are, right? Final look at the knife. I can tell that D10 is working already. That's good. So I'm gonna go ahead and take off the sleeve here for your protection. And that's looking like a solid, beautiful blade right there. Holy smokes. Okay, here we go. Let's, time to open this thing. If you guys are ready, I'm ready. I would definitely mess it up the first time. That's just what I do. Bam, there we go. Holy smokes. So first things first, this is an interesting looking blade here, to say the least. I wonder what steel we are working with. Looks like it's a Damascus, so it is a type of Damascus. And I can sort of see it with the different levels going on in there. All right, that looks pretty good. It sort of has like, in a way, a sort of mirror finish to it. And I wonder if this is the oil. Took a brand new wiping cloth out of the plastic bag here. See if I can get this blade nice and polished. I think that old one had some oil in there. All right, there we go. So we got a Damascus 010R. It's a steel on this one. That's the one that I haven't really heard of before or experimented with before. But it does have a crazy sort of mirror finish to it, which looks really good in person. I'm not sure if the cameras are actually doing it justice here. All right, but it is a small EDC. I'm able to get a full finger grip on this thing, believe it or not. That's pretty interesting. All right, and of course you got that Warncliffe blade, a very utilitarian tip right there for your draw cuts, utility cuts, and things like that. It is a liner lock with good access to the liner. Notice how they cut out this section here. So yeah, getting to that liner is nice and easy. Those ball bearings are gonna create a smooth operation. Now I think I may need to gotta calibrate that D10 a little bit. It's a little bit on the weak side. So I wonder if I need to tighten up the pivot just a tad bit more with my TA screwdriver. All right, there we go. We gave it a nice almost 45-degree tighten. It is steering a little bit to the left. That can be easily fixed. Well, there we go. Okay, now it feels a little bit better. More snappy D10. And then, now the one part where I feel like I definitely want to do is I want to do the reverse flick. But I don't have a lot of room on the opposite side to be able to do that. So would have been nice if I could reverse flick this thing, but it looks like the thumb deployment is the only way to deploy it here. It feels good, actually, when I can get it to work, right? Again, it's a brand new knife, so I gotta sort of calibrate for it. Definitely helps to give it a good flick of the wrist. And it's a little bit of a shake shutter. No flipper deployment here, no front flipper. So that hole, and again, only on one side. So if I could give them some feedback, maybe, you know, bringing this line down a bit, right? Still making it work with the liner because it is a liner lock, but just bringing back down this section a tad bit more like they did on this side, that would help so you could, you know, reverse flick it as well. So yeah, it would have been nice if I could reverse flick it. But as far as thumb deployment goes, it's pretty good, pretty solid. All right, let's check the lockup now. Good solid lockup, no up and down, no side to side. All right, it looks like we have built ourselves here, ladies and gentlemen. Pretty interesting and exciting EDC knife so far. Now, one thing I noticed too is, okay, a couple of things. There's your lanyard hole back here, and I didn't see a pocket clip on this one. So perhaps it's meant to be carried on a slip, right? It's a little bit on the thick side to be on a slip, but that's a possibility. But yeah, it's interesting. I didn't see a pocket clip included on there. Kind of, you know, in order to carry it, right, will be best to have a pocket clip. So far, the other two knives from them had, you know, their corresponding pocket clips. So I'm not sure what's going on with that one right there. But let's go ahead and do some size comparisons here. Again, the blade is going to get some fingerprints, so hopefully it doesn't drive your OCD crazy or anything. All right, give it a nice little wipe. You should be good to go. I will tell you the bone scales actually feel really good. Those are really, really nice. We have proud liners all the way throughout. They actually extend a little bit beyond the bone scales. All right, so that's pretty interesting. Of course, we're going to do a scientific cutting test with this guy here in just a moment. Well, here it is next to the JIN Chubbee, right? Again, another build your own EDC kit from JIN Knives. And here is the OG one, right, that I got sent by them. This is, again, a full-size knife, also a liner lock, flipper deployment on ball bearings. And it does have a pocket clip, which is reversible, by the way. So I think they have the American flag scales, but they also have some solid color scales as well. Again, all these knives will be linked down below, so you can check them out. In the link in the description and the pinned comments as well, right? So again, a small knife, kind of borderline medium, but not large enough to be a medium, in my opinion. Here is the NedFoss Cougar. Recently unboxed this one, and I'm currently carrying for a review video, so check that one out. Same deal with the Lothar Falcon, right? Both of these are button locks, right? Two different styles going on. This one's a more classy design, right? This one has a very nice Warncliffe blade with a finger choil. The forward choke feels really good, right? Again, really good budget options as well. And let's do your typical knives here in the channel. There is your PM2 and your Para 3, right? So you see what I mean now. The Para 3 is typically a medium knife in my butt, towards this guy is at least an inch shorter than the Para 3. So that's what I mean by a small knife. Of course, the PM2 is a much larger knife. Here's the Demko 80-20.5 and the Kunwu Chad. Of course, these are going to be much bigger knives. The Demko 80-20.5, similar to the Para 3. The Chad, very similar in size to the PM2. Here's the Civivi Vision FG and the Vosteed Talarurus. All of these are solid EDC knives as well. Again, this guy being a little bit shorter. And again, I wonder if this one has a specific model name. If it does, it will be in the title, of course, but I don't think I can tell based on the box. And last but not least, two fairly recent models from CJRB, the Hectare and the Prado, right? Both of these I just released unboxings in the channel. Check them out. Both of them are crossbar lock knives. But you get the idea, right? More or less, you know, just giving you a ballpark where this guy lands size-wise. I may have lied. I got two more for you. Just thinking of the smaller size on this guy. So I got the Divo NIP at the bottom here, comes to mind. That was going to be a little bit shorter. And the Vosteed Corgi Pup, which is the mini version of the Corgi. That one being a little bit closer, but a little bit smaller. The Divo NIP being significantly smaller right there, as you can see. But yeah, definitely a small knife by all accounts. There's no doubt about that. So let's get scientific with it, shall we? I'm joking, right? Just gonna do a quick paper cutting test and a quick cardboard cutting test. Now, all right, that edge feels pretty good. We don't have much in the way of a sharpening choil on this one. Let me see. The good news though is that where the stop pin ends is nowhere near where the sharpening choil is at. So you could actually drill and make your own sharpening choil there if you wanted to. Otherwise, you might start to get a smile on this one as you begin to sharpen the knife, you know, after a time or two. But without further ado, yeah, checking that sharpness right there. It is going through that paper like nobody's business. Ooh, I can do some curve cutting. That tells you this guy is pretty sharp out of the box, right? Pretty nice. So it's not just building the knife, it's actually finishing or ending up with a knife that you can actually work with. So that's pretty neat there. So paper, yes, all day, every day, we know it's going to go through that paper, no issues. Now, as far as cardboard goes, I got a piece of a shoebox cardboard. So it's a little bit on the skinnier side. I think I have a thicker one somewhere as well. But remember, when cutting cardboard, don't cut perpendicular, but rather at an angle like that. This guy already wants to bite into the cardboard. So here we go. Yeah, it's going through that cardboard like nobody's business. Right, and again, it actually feels pretty comfortable in the hand. I'll tell you what, I'm not sure. I'm gonna reach out to. Okay, what what just happened here? Give me a second. We got a screw on the loose sort of situation here, ladies and gentlemen. Give me one moment. But I'm just gonna blame that on user error. Maybe I didn't tighten that one up too well. Okay, just to be on the safe side, just cranking everything up just a tad bit. There we go. Should be good now. What was I talking about? I'm not sure about the pocket clip situation here, why we didn't get one. Maybe it was intentional. I'm not sure. But I will tell you one thing, though. When you really squeeze down, you bear down on this knife, no sore spot to speak of, right? Definitely no pocket clip, right? That feels like a good 9.5, 10 out of 10 right there. So, yeah, when doing cardboard, all right, feels pretty comfortable, pretty good. So, you're probably going to want to wear some gloves if you're going to be doing extensive cardboard cutting and things like that. But, you know, if you just had to, you know, destroy a box or two here and there, this guy will do the trick. So, yeah, you guys rate it in the comments on a scale from 1 through 10. How sharp is this guy? All right, you all let me know. We interrupt this video to let you know I just got a mysterious package from a guy whose last name is Winters and a company that starts with winter. What could this possibly be? I don't know. The truth is, winter is coming. Anyways, lame jokes aside, I'm very excited for this unboxing. This one is my very own, and this video would have gone up on the channel literally before this one. So if you haven't seen it yet, definitely check it out. So we got the lanyard situation going on here. So let's see if I can figure this out, just for show, because again, I'm not much of a lanyard person myself. Now this one again did suffer from the oily situation, right? That runaway oil. So let me give it a wipe. And it looks like it is a seal. It's a seal? No, it's not. So there goes the beat. I'm glad it does come in a plastic bag though, because there's no oil on this one. So it's sort of like a leather, you know, artificial leather looking lanyard. I'm not a lanyard expert, but I'm gonna attempt to do something here, right? Just to give you guys an idea, right? So let's say I loop it through here, and then you do your bead situation going on there. And then you thread it in your most preferred way, right? It's gonna look something like that. Now, I am no lanyard expert. I might look up a DIY video or something like that on how to make a good looking lanyard, just to test it out, especially because this one doesn't have a pocket clip for some reason, which I still think that's you know, I'm not sure what the deal was there. I also noticed something else. So I'm actually recording this last part of the video on the next day, and I noticed the bone scale towards the front here got a little something there. I'm not sure if that's the oil from the other side or what that is that may have caused the bone. You know, it looks all nice and white and all that, and then it kind of looks a little wet in this front section here. So maybe I overdid it with the oil. Who knows? Might take it apart and dry it up a bit and see if that goes away. Probably will. Don't have that issue on the other side at all. But that's pretty much been it, guy, on this little EDC knife here that you get to build yourself. So gotta give him credit here. Action feels pretty good. You know, there's a little bit of opportunity for different things. Again, you know, like a pocket clip, sharpening choke situation that we talked about, being able to reverse flick and stuff like that. But, you know, to be able to build your own knife and at an affordable cost, because this right here is I'm assuming it's an affordable kit. Of course, by the time you're watching this video, I would have already looked this one up and linked to as many places, I think mainly Amazon, where this guy is for sale. So you can check those affiliate links in the description and the pinned comments. It does, of course, help out the channel when you use those links, but that is entirely up to you, right? Handle is nice and thick. Ergonomics feels good. Yeah, overall, pretty solid EDC. Definitely one that I'm gonna, you know, carry here for some time, and of course give you guys a full comprehensive review as you're accustomed to in the channel. This was more of a first impressions unboxing and a build guide, if anything, but the review is coming. This will be a great time to subscribe to the channel if you're not already. You can support the channel on Patreon or right here on YouTube by becoming a channel member. You'll get access to exclusive perks. Check out the build on this other JIN knife kit right there. Or check out this other video right here on the right, which I kind of give you a little hint earlier in the video. This is that video right there. Check it out. If you made it to the end, you are the real MVP. Thank you so much for all your love and support. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. And I'll catch you on the next video, either this one or this one. Peace.